Hello and welcome everyone. Very happy that we're all together again. In this tutorial we will start talking about a new very important light current system, which is the CCTV system. So fasten your belt and let's get started. The aim of this tutorial is to introduce the CCTV system by knowing its main idea and what the functionality of this system is. Then we will start illustrating the different types of the CCTV system components. So we need to know what are the different components of the CCTV system and what are the different features of each of them. So let's go ahead. First of all, to know what the CCTV system is, we find that the CCTV system to be the abbreviation of the closed circuit television. So it's a television system that is used for monitoring and observing the different indoor and outdoor places, and it's used also for analyzing the different actions that happen for the different places by recording continuous or separate videos of those places. So this is the meaning of a television system, but it's called a closed system as it's a not public one, and this is because it's a specific system which is used by a specific owner of the system. So the recorded videos by the system is not public ones like the traditional TV system, which is displayed to all of the television users, but it's a closed circuit television system which displays the recorded videos for some specific authorities which are the owner of this CCTV system. And to summarize the basic cycle of the CCTV system, we can find that it consists of some cameras that are installed on the different places which we need to observe. Then those cameras are sending the recorded video signal in a form of an electrical signal to the controller, which receives the video signal from the cameras. Then this controller sends the recorded video after analyzing it and storing it to display it on the displaying monitor as a visual signal. So this is the CCTV system very simply, which consists mainly of three main parts: the recording element, which is the camera, the controller, and the displaying element, which is the monitor. Very good. Now for the main types of the CCTV systems, we find that we have two main types. The first one is the analog CCTV system, and the second one is the digital CCTV system. And the main difference between them is that at the analog CCTV system, the electrical signal that is sent from the camera to the controller is an analog signal which looks like the waves or the sine waves, as the signal is having many values and each of them is a considered value that performs the analog signal. While for the digital CCTV system, the converted electrical signal from the cameras to the controller is sent as a digital signal just by zeros and ones. So we have the digital CCTV system that converts the video signal to a discrete values of zeros and ones, and we have the analog CCTV system which converts the video signal to an electrical analog one for the transferring process. Now let's start analyzing the different components of the CCTV system, and we can start with the analog CCTV system. Here we find the first component in the analog CCTV system to be the analog cameras, and those cameras are the recording elements or the elements that records the images or the videos. Then it transmits it to the storing element in the system, which stores the recorded videos or displaying it. But for those analog cameras in the analog CCTV system, we find them to have a disadvantage, which is that its ability to display and process the recorded videos is limited. And this analyzing is a processing feature in the CCTV system, and it's an important one as it may be the main job of the CCTV system, which is to monitor and observe the actions that happens in a local area. So it's used for the security applications, for example, to observe if there is a stealing attempt in the building, or if there is a strange person that has entered the building, or a suspicious behavior that has happened in the place. So the ability of the analog cameras to detect any strange behavior or to analyze the recorded videos in general is very limited. And for this purpose in the analog CCTV system, we depend mainly on the human factor, where a person or some persons should be alert all the time to detect any strange behavior in the system by observing the CCTV monitors all the time. So that's the main idea of the analog CCTV system, which is that we depend mainly on the human factor for analyzing the recorded videos. Also, the second main feature of the analog cameras is that it needs to be supplied by two cables. The first one is the power cable like this one that supplies the camera with the electrical signal, and the second one is the data cable like this one, which sends the analog data from the camera to the recording element in the CCTV system. Also, we find this is a model for installing the analog cameras, where we have two cables connected to it, the power cable and the data visual cable. Alright. Now the second component that the analog CCTV system consists of is the DVR, or the digital video recorder, and this digital video recorder is the receiver that receives the video signal from the cameras, and the main job of it is to analyze and store the recorded video by the cameras, so it may have an internal hard disk which stores the video signal received from the cameras. So we can consider the DVR to be the link between the recording element, which are the cameras, and the displaying elements, which are the monitors. And its job is to analyze and store the videos recorded by the cameras. As it receives an analog signal from the cameras, then it stores it as a digital one, which can be stored in a hard disk. Also, for the different capacities of the DVR system, we find its size or capacity to depend on the number of cameras that are connected to it, or we call it the number of channels of the DVR. As for each DVR, there are some different capacities or some different number of channels that we can select from according to the number of cameras that we have in the CCTV system. So for the standard manufactured capacities of the DVR system, they are 4 channels and 8 channels, also 9 channels DVR, 16 channels, and 32 channels DVR. So according to the number of cameras we are having, we get the suitable capacity of the DVR from 4 cameras till 32 cameras or 32 channels. But we consider also to set a spare in the system of about 20% as a spare for any future extensions or for any increase in the number of cameras in the future. Also, the next important feature that we specify the DVR according to is the frame rate per second, and this frame rate per second simply is the number of the recorded images per second that the DVR can receive from the camera. And this is because any video is a sequence of images that are recorded by the recording system. So for the DVR, we need to know what are the number of images, or it's called the number of frames that the DVR can record per second, or it can record in each second. And this number specifies the quality of the recorded videos, as the higher number of frame rates per second, the higher quality and precision the recorded video is. For example, this is a video recorded in 15 frames per second or 15 images per second. You can see it's not clear and its quality is low. But when the frame rate per second increases to 30 frames per second, we find the image quality to have a medium quality or a medium clearness. Also, when the frame rate per second increases to P60 frames per second, we find the video quality to be more clearer and its quality is much higher. So what we wanted to say is that the higher frame per second, the more real recorded video is. And here to specify the DVR frame rate per second, we find it to be manufactured based on two standards. The first one is the European standard, or it's called the PAL standard, which has 25 frame rate per second. Also, the second standard that the DVR devices are manufactured based on is the American standard, which is called the NTSC, and it has a standard frame rate per second of 30 frames per second. So any of those two standards are available to buy the DVR according to. Also, the important note here is that some DVR devices are manufactured with some standard frame rate per second, which may be 60 or 120 frames per second, as those DVR devices support higher quality videos and more clearer ones due to their higher frame rate per second. But on the other hand, their prices are higher as they need much more storage size to store the recorded videos. As the higher resolution and frame size the video is, the higher size the video. So we need more storage space in those cases. More than great. So that's about this tutorial, and in the next one we will continue talking about the analog CCTV system and its different components. Hope that's clear right now. Thank you for watching and see you next tutorials.